Ladies and gentlemen, kids of all ages, boys and girls, kids from the hood, suburbs, and every place in between, welcome to season 4, episode 1 of the Rap Sheet podcast. We are back, fresh from hiatus. Let's get a round of applause for that. There we go. I want to take time to just salute everyone in our off time who's been asking when we coming back, who y'all got lined up for season 4. We've got great people lined up. I'm just going to mention a few of those names right now. Ed O.G. is on deck real soon.
Okay.
We've got DJ Eddie F., who is Heavy D's DJ, on deck real soon. And we got a few other things that I can't really put out there yet because I'm waiting to get final confirmation. But I will let y'all know that we are very close to getting the one and only Big Daddy Kane. So stay tuned. I'm going to let y'all know when that happens.
Okay.
And all that good stuff. So we're trying to do things for season 4. But it all starts with the very first episode. And I could have got anybody because I know a lot of people in the game. But I definitely wanted to touch base with someone who is the embodiment of sisterhood. And to me, she is my ghetto CNN. When I don't know anything that's going on within the hood, she's always there to let me know things. And I'm going to give a great story. This will be my introduction to the sister that you see currently on the screen. When I was working at Dive FM, the sister came by. And while we was talking off air, she came in disgruntled and upset. And I'm like, what's going on here? And she's like, you didn't hear the stories going on in the news lately? And I'm like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she showed me the story about Trayvon Martin. And I didn't know anything about what was going on with Trayvon. I didn't know who this young man was, but I saw the story and everything. And immediately I was just like, this is some BS.
Mm-hmm.
And that story led to what we have seen over the many years with cops and people who have access to guns basically abusing their authority. And it has led to so many unwanted murders where we as Black folks don't even feel safe to go out of our homes every night because we got to look over our shoulders to make sure that we don't come across these abusive cops that have infected our news stations and
everywhere.
With
it's
just
everywhere.
The unfortunate circumstances of not being able to be safe with the people who were put in position to protect us. But nonetheless, I say all that to say the woman on your screen right now is a magnet for staying up on current events. And not just current events that go on that affect the world, current events that affect us melanin folks.
That's right.
But on top of all that, she is one of the deadliest socially conscious pen players that I have ever met. I told her earlier today that her song "We Should Be Stars" is one of my favorite records of all time. Don't know it word for word because I'm 50 and I forget things, but I just know right here. As soon as I hear those flutes playing in the background, and then this woman says "Wave to the haters," that's all I need, and I wave to all the haters every single.
That song wrote itself, yo. I got to be honest. That song wrote itself.
We're gonna get into that. We're going to definitely get into that. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take the time out to welcome this fantastic sister who is a legend in the game, has been doing it for well over 20 years. This is, if memory serves me correct, we are in now your 24th year as an artist, if memory serves me correct. She just dropped a brand new album called Higher. Salute to Pat G, Nancy, a Dutch Rebel, Motivate Mark Maron, and so many other great people on this album. She has done amazing things with legends like Clinton Sparks, the Cold Crush Brothers, the Zulu Nation, and so much more. We're going to get into all of this.
Yes,
but
sir.
Without further ado, it is a pleasure to welcome to the Vibe Chair, the one and the only Queen Iyadonna. Let's make some noise for her, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Queen. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm feeling good. I'm glad I got a chance to catch you finally, man.
Thank you for doing this. Also, on a more personal note, thank you for every time I had a DJ gig in Boston, whether I was living there or came back there from Kansas City. Thank you for always showing up. And one of the only true people that always showed up to every gig that I was doing, even if it was last time you came through. So I appreciate that
You
whole
always do your job, man. So it's an easy thing.
right.
It's easy to pop out for you, you know.
So let's start from the very beginning, and I know this may be a cliche question, but when did hip hop find you?
Hip hop found me very early. I'd say about 8 years old. That's when I started actually writing rhymes. Shout out to the ambassador of the Mean Town, my brother, Cool Body. That's somebody I grew up with, been rapping with literally since I was 8 years old, freestyling. It's funny. We freestyled over like some Big Daddy Kane stuff. So it's funny you said that. That was like one of the first artists, and I can't remember the song, but it's one of them classic beats, man. We did one of our first joints off of a Big Daddy Kane song. That's all I know. And from there, it just took off, like doing shows. We had a manager back then, had us doing shows. You know, and I think it just from there just blossomed into something I could never really just give up or stop doing. It's just like a part of me. And literally that's when it started.
Now the female MC was a real novelty. I don't want to say novelty act, but it was definitely a rarity back in like the late 80s and stuff. Even though there were female MCs out there making noise, it didn't really produce the buzz that it did for the male MCs, the groups and soloists or whatever. So knowing that, what was your I would say early intentions, and where did you find the influences to guide you in your early days to see the sister that we see today in 2024?
I think it was watching a lot of sisters come up before me. And I think that's really what helped me pinpoint, you know, and decide this is what I want to do. One of the first MCs that I heard was Boss, and I know nobody ever remembers Boss, but I'm just telling you, I don't really want to feel like I'm in a daze, so I spoke big kill. I'm gonna do that song over, or I'm gonna find Boss. Somehow I gotta like bring that back to light, because that was the first vinyl I ever owned. I'm about to show my age, crazy, but yes, I had a record player. My mom bought me a record player, so I used to actually, she didn't even buy it for me. It was her shit. I just started using it or whatever. But Boss, I went and bought that from Tower Records downtown. Don't play with me.
Newberry Street,
from downtown.
Hey.
You know I was a vinyl. They used to sell the vinyls back then, so I went and grabbed that vinyl because I just loved that song, and I was scratching it. I learned all the words, and that was one of the first MCs. She didn't sing, she ain't lollygag, she ain't bullshit around. That was bar for bar, like the first female I heard actually rapping like the dudes, quote unquote.
For those that don't know who she's talking about this lady right here. Boss, right here. This sister right here from Detroit, Michigan. Salute to Boss.
That was my first vinyl right there, dog. So
that whole
I think she was working with Dre, right? Dre did that beat for her, I believe.
She was working with DJ Quick, Eric Sermon, Scarface. I forgot who else was on that. That album was a complete masterpiece. It came out in 1993, my last year of high school. I'll never forget it. And that album just set the tone. I wasn't really a gangster rap fan, but the way that she put words together and the delivery, all that, yes, the language was a bit much and everything, but I had to just bypass
that though. We needed that
delivery for a woman who did it, basically wrote everything. And I think it set their standard not only for female empowerment, even though she was speaking that hood stuff and everything like that. It opened up the doors for people like the Rod Diggers, the Queen Latifahs, and everything. Even though Latifah came out before Boss, I really think that hardcore stuff really opened it up for Lady of Rage and Eve and everyone else that wanted
Lady of Rage. Oh, you just blew my mind. I forgot about that.
Salute to Boss. But it's all about you right now. So that was your early influence. So taken from that, what direction did you want to go in as an artist? Did you want to go the gangster route?
I wanted to go gangster. I wanted to do, when I was a kid, we wanted to, we were like into battling crisscross. Like those were our arch nemesis. We was doing the miggity miggities and the diggity. You know what I'm saying? That was our thing back then. So we wanted to do that. But then as I grew, the gangster rap kind of just was what everybody was listening to around me. So that's what influenced me. My uncles was rapping and stuff, had a group, and they was on that gangster rap stuff. It was a lot of that around me. So that was pretty much what molded me. But what's crazy is how I ended up shaping myself as an artist into so much more than that, which I never saw coming. You know what I mean?
Amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning us in, wherever you are tuning us in from, we have the Queen Iyadonna here representing Roxbury, Massachusetts.
I'm here.
To the fullest. I had to find your bio, and I was able to find some interesting things about you. So let's talk. You go to Virginia, Norfolk State University. Salute to that.
Yes.
You went over there, and you went the Chris Ludacris Bridges route, and you were a radio personality.
I was. That was one of my most seriously. That was my favorite job, probably. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Now, what was it about being a radio personality that you enjoyed the most? Because I've been doing radio for 15 years. I could list a bunch of things that I like about it. What was your love for doing radio? And would you ever do it again?
I loved being heard. I loved being able to make those decisions and being able to know that I'm the person hitting the button and choosing to have you bobbing your head in your car. Like, I'm making that decision. Plus, I'm going to hit you with, like you said, I'm into current events. I'm into different things that are going on in the community. That being an HBCU, I was right in the hood. It was right off Brambleton. People that know Norfolk, Virginia will tell you, like, Norfolk State's in the hood. So I was seeing a lot around me. A lot was going on in our school. So there was always something to talk about. I loved communicating. My degree is in communications. So it kind of just made sense. Do something on the radio. I was playing ball. I got hurt. That was out for me. So for like a month, I just was like crying in my dorm. I didn't know what I was going to do. Walk past the radio station one day, seeing them niggas in there getting it. I'm just having so much fun. And I'm just like, that's what I'm doing. Went in there, talked to the friggin' program director. And he was like, I can't say no to you. Like, this is what you want to do. I'm going to give you that. Like, you seem like he didn't know me I'm from Boston. Like, they didn't know me down there, calling me a Yankee and shit. Like, talking all, proper and shit. Like, they gave me hell down there when I first got down there. So it was like, it wasn't no favoritism, but I think he really just saw something in me. Shout out to Doug Perry. I don't know if he's still doing it. I think he's moved on since, but he was the program director down there for years. And he just gave me a shot, man. Like I said, I just walked past and saw it. And something in me was just like, you can do this. Like, this is something that I feel like I'd be good at. And I gave it a shot. He put me on the air and I didn't look back. I ended up getting the Saturday night slot. So it was popping for me.
Now, you did it for the whole 4 years that you were there, or you just did it for like just a short time?
No, I actually did it from the end of my freshman year. Yeah, because I got hurt like when I first got there. So it was like my second semester of my first year there. Yes, I started and I couldn't give that spot up. They moved me around occasionally depending on who was in and what we needed at the time. So my show changed. I was in the morning. When I first started, actually, I had to rough it out. I was in the morning 6 to 10 at first, waking up at like 5:30, then got to go to class after that. Shit was crazy. I did that for about 6 months until I was like, I gotta figure something else out. And then he ended up moving me to Saturday night because somebody graduated. So it just happened that I had good timing and I held on to that spot till I graduated. So about 3 years and a little over 3 years, I was a radio personality.
Now, what year was this that you started doing this? What year are we looking at right now?
So I worked on Hot 91 from 2000, the end of 2004 or the end of the beginning of 2005, excuse me, until I graduated in 2009. Okay. Because I took a year off, but I still worked on the radio. That was how important it was.
Now, for those that have done radio in the past, whenever you've done it, there's always politics in doing certain types of radio and certain things to play. Did you have liberty and free range to play what you wanted? Or did they say, okay, this is what you can play. You have to stick to this. And if they did that, how did you navigate around that to still add your sauce on it, still sticking within the rules of what the station told you had to do? Or did you just have free range?
No, it depended on the show. The morning show was very much planned out to the weather report. Like, everything was pretty much boom, boom, boom. You had to have that in order. I guess because we were competing with such big stations. So that show, when I first started, was very planned out. They were very strategic about what we said, what we played, depending on, what have you. But when I got to that Saturday night show, I showed out. Like, I played what I wanted. All my homies would call. I played whatever me and my friends wanted to hear. And I played it over again, and I played it over again. If something came up, I didn't like it, I figured out how to skip shit. Like, I was just learning as I went along. And by the time year 4 came, I pretty much was running my own show as far as commercials, who I chose to run on ads, who I chose to run live on air, everything, you know. And then you can kind of pick your songs a little bit more tailored towards what you want. And luckily, what I wanted was kind of what was popular at the time. So it worked out. It wasn't like I was playing stuff that, you know, I didn't really have that East Coast down South issue. I was kind of into whatever I was into, and being there and being from Boston, I was getting a little taste of everything. So it was perfect. So I throw on a little East Coast John, and people go like, okay. And then I throw on something that and then I'm following up with this. And then I had fun mixing. And when they gave me the free reign, that was when I really just found myself. And to answer the second question, I would definitely do radio again. The money would have to be right. I know radio can be interesting financially. And for me right now, I got a lot of shit going on. So it would have to be a very big opportunity for me. But if somebody came to me with the right opportunity, I would jump right on that. Yeah. Because I feel like that's me being me, and you getting paid for it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Queen, Miss Iyadonna, here today, sitting with us in the vibe chair, Rap Sheet Podcast, Season 4, Episode 1. So we've talked about this man many times, and I feel that this guy doesn't get the flowers for being a producer, a DJ, a mixtape guy, and just everything under the sun. How did you and Mr. Clinton Sparks meet?
Well, honestly, me and Clinton
to work with him, because I know you wrote and did stuff with him for a good chunk of time. So how did this relationship begin?
You know what's crazy? I don't even really remember. Like, I forget exactly where we crossed paths at. I know it was something to do with a group that I had. I was in a group called Last Girl Scouts, and I believe he saw us performing somewhere. And he asked me to do a song or something, and then it just kind of took off from there. He gave me some beats one day. I took a beat CD home and came back and kind of just like, showed him what I had, and he was like, "Oh shoot!" And actually, one of those songs ended up being my single that we dropped. "Fuck What You Think," which was, I guess that's the Boston beat, but yeah, that was the name of the joint, and it was hard. But yeah, that pretty much started our working relationship with that song, and we worked, a few years after that as well.
Clinton has gone all over the world, but for those that have never sat in the same room with him to work with him, what is his work ethic actually like as a producer, as an MC, as someone that just truly loves what he does? Even though he was white, let's just put that out there. He wasn't trying to be something that he wasn't. What was his work ethic like that made you say, yo, this dude, it made it really easy for me to do what I do at that time?
At that time, he was pretty much the dude. You know what I mean? He was before the Pup Dogs. He was before, he was back with what was that? DJ Edition.
Yeah.
Remember DJ like it was those he put those people in position. So I mean, it made it very easy, just because one, he had the setup right in the basement. Like, he was waking up, rolling over, and going and making beats. Like, he had the perfect setup. So he had continuous work. He had Mark Merrin, you know what I'm saying, dropping stuff in there too. So between the two of them, like, the beats never stopped. You know what I mean? And we could pretty much crash there and just, like I said, just be there and working. So it was good for me at the time. I was a teenager, so it was like, yo, I didn't have shit else to do but rap. And that was all we wanted to do. So we would be in there for days on end, to the point where his mom be knocking on the door like, yo, y'all need to eat. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that really grew me into the person I am now, not even just musically, just as a person. You know what I mean? To be able to rough some shit out and be like, yo, I got to finish this because, we got deadlines and shit. So
salute to Mark Maron, who was Crispus Addicts back then. Salute to the homie Mark. Yeah. We're gonna definitely talk about him.
Almost forgot about that.
As we continue on. So you came out with the single "F What You Think." What did you say? It was a. Now see, for those listening, for those listening right now, Iyadonna and myself, we come from the vinyl era. Okay, shout out to CDs and all this stuff that's out there right now. But we come from the vinyl era where there was an A side and a B side. And
Man,
usually what that is the A side is clean version, dirty version, or TV track, which is the instrumental with the chorus in it and stuff like that to perform live.
Yep.
The B side had the same thing. So when we say the A side was F What You Think, the B side was What Did You Think? Flip the vinyl over, you got side B, you play that ish.
I forgot about What Did You Say. I really forgot about that song. I like that song more than Fuck What You Think, but I got overruled. I remember arguing about that, but the beat was so like, it was kind of like more melodic, more laid back, and they were like, oh no, you need that. Like, that's that one. So I was like, all right, word. I'll listen to y'all on that one, but I remember that. I totally forgot about that song.
Well, see, I don't forget. I wish now that's one record I don't have, and I got to go and find that. But so your buzz started to grow after the release of this, and you made the decision to stop writing talents for other people, because a lot of people don't know that you really were an artist that wrote for a lot of other people. When did you start to realize, you know what, it's like, I love putting other people on, writing for them, but it's time to just go full blast with just putting myself out there with the buzz that I'm starting to get on the college scene, indie scene, however it was.
Yeah.
At this time, did you know what the plan was for you, or were you still trying to figure it out? But at the same time, all right, we're starting to put the pieces together. Like, at this moment, where was you professionally in your career at this time?
I think right then, I think I was working with Loot Records.
Okay.
Out in Cali. So I was back and forth to Cali and Arizona. That's where the two headquarters were for this label that I was on. So that was when I started writing for an artist named Janelle. So I started writing mad pop songs and like mad I don't know, alternative rock songs. They were crazy, but they weren't necessarily what I would have picked. However, the young lady ended up leaving the label or getting dropped, or something happened with her. So when her deal fell through, obviously my writing deal fell through, but instead of it falling through, the label asked me, did I want to perform the songs? Because I had sent you got to send like a draft.
A reference track. Yep.
Yeah. You got to send a reference.
Mm-hmm.
So I had sent references singing it, but I wasn't like singing it like that because I wasn't singing it for me. I was writing it for her just to know how to sing it.
Yeah.
But they ended up being like, yo, if you clean this up, we'll fly you out here if you want to like do this song and perform it yourself. I got fucking like bamboozled, basically. Not bamboozled. I mean, it was an opportunity, but it's like, damn, would I have chose to perform and put out dance floor? Nah, that really wasn't my vibe at the time. Like I said, I'm boss. I'm doing hard shit. Yeah. Or so I thought, you know what I mean? But I think when the doors started widening, I started opening up my thought process and seeing, maybe this could be something good for me to kind of tap into another demographic and stuff. So I think that's kind of where the writing took me, where, I'm still into that. I'll write you a song in a second. I'll help you, finish some stuff up quickly. But I think what that did for me back then was actually open up myself and realize, yo, you really can do this if you want. There's no bars. You're not imprisoned by hip hop or by rap. Like, you can do whatever you want in this world. So that's when I kind of started to embrace that part of me. And I think that's where the songs like Be Myself came from, the Fat Man Scoop features and all the stuff that I wouldn't normally do, the party songs and all that. Like, that's where I was okay with it at. Cause I'm like, all right, well, I already did this with, dance floor and whatever. So let's do it, whatever. So it was a good thing, turns out. But at the time, it was a hard transition for me. I kind of felt like I was leaving one genre almost. It was crazy. It was interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, Iyadonna, hold on. All right, so to everyone watching on YouTube right now, we're going to sign off because we're going to get into some real exclusive stuff with me and Iyadonna to talk about the new album. You want to hear that? You got to hit up the Patreon page. Sorry, we can't give you free content for everything. I got bills. I got a wife. So, yeah. So, shout out to everyone on YouTube. Thank y'all for checking this out. We will have the rest of this interview real soon. So, yeah, Patreon users, you get to stay here. All you YouTubers, got to go. Sorry. We will see you on the flip side. All right? Peace and blessings.
We'll get back with you, man.